For this discussion, we are joined by Professor Ephraim Inbar, the President of the Jerusalem Institute for Strategy and Security, Surinder Lally, Foreign Affairs expert from New Delhi. Thank you very much for joining us. Ephraim, I wanted to ask you, is this what Israel want? Are we seeing some optimism in this ceasefire?
Well, we don't have yet a ceasefire. Don't hold your breath. I'm not sure that we will get an agreement with Hamas. After all, Hamas precondition for any exchange of prisoners is an end to the war. And this is something that Israel cannot agree because it wants to eradicate the Hamas presence in Gaza. They've proved to be a very bad neighbor, trying to terrorize millions of Israelis with missiles over the years, and finally committing terrible atrocities on October 7, 2024. So this is, we shouldn't forget also, an Islamist radical terrorist organization, and Israel is intent to put an end to the rule of Hamas in Gaza.
Thank you. Surinder Lally, can there ever be successful talks if both sides keep blaming each other? There seems to be accusations of deception within this ceasefire agreement on both sides.
Thank you, Thomas, and it's a pleasure and honor for me to be here. Honestly, first allow me to come into the discussion by condemning, the October attack as an egregious attack, and with the strongest of the words, I condemn. But, getting back to your question, I'm not too sure if the solution is that simple, because what happened on October, is unacceptable by any standards, but what has happened afterwards? I mean, the way history is being in the process of being created and the way, lives have been lost, I think is far more complicated. And till the time the two-state solution is not accepted, I'm sorry, I don't think there'll be a permanent solution to it. I mean, America is one of the strongest countries in the world. I mean, it is American supremacy is definitely up there, but American hegemony is up for revision. But even with the might of the American army and that $900 billion defense budget, they went to Afghanistan, they just turned bigger rocks into smaller rocks and came back, handing whatever they came to ruin Taliban with, now with them, and which is a big mess they've left in our region. So getting back to the subject and answering my, concluding with my opening remarks, I'm not too sure if it's going to be that simple, because while the state of Israel and Benjamin Netanyahu using the American lame duck position that America is in right now, while he's gone not a yard, but many extra yards, I don't think this rubble is going to be able to clean in the coming future. I mean, I've seen it, I've grown up seeing all of it, and I don't know. I'm not too optimistic about it, Thomas.
Ephraim Inbar, how would you respond to that? Obviously, there are accusations of Israel cutting humanitarian aid and killing civilians all over Gaza. What would Israel want for these reported events to stop?
So, well, I want to commend my colleague, for being so realistic. And you Indians should know that protracted conflicts do not end so easily. You have put one in Kashmir. It's not ending even if there is goodwill by one of the two sides. I think that what's coming out of Gaza is blatant lie. This is serving, of course, Hamas. There is humanitarian aid. Actually, the Israeli military is counting calories to make sure that there is enough food. But unfortunately, the humanitarian aid is taken over by Hamas. Hamas is selling it, making a lot of money on it. It is using the food confiscated from the UN agencies for recruiting additional terrorists, paying them in food, to them and to their families. So I think there is plenty of food in Gaza. The problem is its distribution, which unfortunately is in the hands, mostly in the hands of Hamas.
Thank you very much for joining us for this discussion, both of you.